Get to the UFC, win the title, have a bunch of babies. Penn State's getting dethroned. Again, my leg just snapped in half. Get crazy, get loud, let's party. Oh, frick. Who asked that? I can't lose now. I'm going to look like such a scumbag. Bo like just freaks out and the coach just sent him to the locker room. The sauna makes it harder. I think I just get like super hot and it just makes it harder for me. Then I go straight and it's easier. I miss having Moose in the cold tub. Here's a great addition.
All right, we're gonna start off with an easy one.
All right, first question.
How old are you?
I'm 27. I actually start like forgetting my age after 25. Next one.
Somebody named Ronan asks, what should I start with for my first cycle?
What do you mean? Like a bike cycle, a menstrual cycle? I don't know what you're talking about. Who asked that question?
Somebody named Ronan.
I have no idea, but if I would know, no, I have no idea what a steroid cycle is.
When did you start wrestling?
I started wrestling when I was 7 or 8. My dad showed my brothers and I a video of this one dude just picking him up and slamming him, and he was like, "Do you guys want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure."
What's the deal with pulling up one side of your shorts?
I saw who asked that. It was Josh, our realtor. Yeah, I don't know how he noticed that. I don't know how it started. It's just like wanted to show off my quads, but didn't want to show off too much, so just give the people a little taste.
We need more of the and the Champ shirts. When will they be back?
It's a good call. I just started selling them on millions.co, so I'll post about that. But they do like merch and all that stuff, so I'll post about that. You can get like joggers, shirts, hats. We got to bring them back.
What was your best memory during your college wrestling career?
Ooh, that's tough. We got a lot of good ones. Probably Five Guys Sundays. That was so good.
We'll bring that back in like 5 years, but you go to that way.
Yeah, when we're broken again. I mean, besides national title, it's got to be Ohio State duel. That was just so hype going in. I just remember I lost the wrestle off on Thursday to Shaq, and then the next night, so it was Friday night, and the duel was on Saturday. I get a text from Coach Kale, and he's like, "You ready to go tomorrow?" And I just texted back right away, "Hell yeah." I woke up, and I remember because Nolf was hurt, and the whole vibe going into it from the outside world was like, we're losing. Like, Penn State's getting dethroned, but the vibe of our inner circle, and like, if you walked into Rec Hall, we were like, we're winning no matter what. And so it was so cool to see like the dichotomy of the two extremes of what was going to happen. So we had 2 duels the week before, so it was like my 4th time making weight. I remember my body was just so shot going in. Duel starts, Carson Kuhn freaking headlocks Tomasello into the scoreboard, shatters the scoreboard. Bo like just freaks out, and the coach just sent him to the locker room. And like every match, every person just like competed to their fullest potential. But like Bo majors Miles Martin in the last like 2 seconds. Some people like didn't get tagged or didn't get majored. Everyone just like had their best match they possibly could for the opponent they had. Came down to 97, and I forgot my run-out song was still set to the Jersey Shore theme song. So I was like, get crazy, get loud, let's party. I was like, I can't lose now. I'm gonna look like such a scumbag.
Anthony Cassar from Rocky Hill, New Jersey, Montgomery High School, stepping in at 197 against the undefeated number 1 ranked Colin Moore.
So I run out, start the match off. It's like pretty tight. I end up getting like a reshot or something, and then the last like minute of the match, he almost scored, and then I got a takedown. And I remember Tom Ryan like full beat red in the face, like yelling at him, and like we like wrestled into their side, and so he's like in his face, like yelling, basically in my face too. And I'm like, dang, dude. And I was like, I feel bad for you. Won the match, and then I had like thought of different celebrations for like 4 years leading up to starting, and they just all came out at once, and I just did every celebration I could ever think of, and was out on the mat for way too long, and then Neville's had a match with Snyder, and then we won the duel, and that was probably the highlight. It was sick.
How many times do you plan on fighting in 2024?
2024, so I'll fight October 22nd in Houston, and then I have a 4-fight deal with Fury FC, and we'll see what happens this summer, but I would say 4 times in 2024. March, then twice probably in the summertime, and then one before the end of the year would be the plan.
We knew this one was coming. What's your Chipotle bowl?
There's this one kid who wants it so bad, and I don't want to give it to him. he comments on every photo. Yeah, every
You know
YouTube video.
exactly
Yeah. I go. And that's it.
This one just says Contender Series, question mark?
Potentially. What's dope about Fury FC is it cancels out, the multi-fight cancels out if I do Contenders, so that will be an option this summer.
Did you ever play football?
I did. I always wanted to, but my dad wouldn't allow me because he didn't want me to get hurt. But funny thing is, I would play backyard football anyway. And I was like in 6th grade, I was playing with the 8th graders, and I jumped in front of this kid who was our heavyweight. He was like 300 pounds in 8th grade. And I caught it, and then he landed on my leg, and my leg just snapped in half. My tibia just broke in half, and it sounded like when you break like a thick like branch over your leg. And I was like, oh, I think I just broke my ankle. And then I stood up and my leg just caved in, and I was like, that's not my ankle. This one kid carried me all the way back to the nurse's office. Yeah, he was the man. And
she gave you some 27-17 to put on?
Yeah, he gave me some 27-17. I didn't need surgery. No, but then I got to the hospital, and they didn't put me under. They just like reset it manually, and there was like 4 different doctors, and I was like, how are we still doing this? Like, how is this a thing? Can I get any drug? They just like reset it, and I just like remember squeezing my dad's hand, like screaming for like 30 minutes, and they just wrapped it up, and then they were like, oh, you're good.
What's your best lift?
My best lift? I would say squat. Yeah, probably squat. My like heaviest. My favorite? Reverse curls.
What is your mental edge when you compete?
I saw that from Wrestling Mindset. I would say my preparation. There's not much I do in the moment, so I can just trust that my preparation is on point. I've done everything I possibly could to get there, so then I just resort to that level of training, and that's when you can be at peace and not try to think of like a bunch of different things to get you ready.
Strongest wrestler you have ever felt?
Strongest besides Bo? I don't know. There weren't that many strong men out there. Probably Greg. Yeah. You ever seen that dude throw a dodgeball?
How is wrestling with Kyle Snyder?
It's fun. We used to wrestle a lot going into my the last year I was wrestling. He was like a perfect partner for me because he keeps a good pace, but he's strong enough that he can wrestle with most heavyweights. And yeah, he's a monster.
Ever think of going the Olympic wrestling route?
Yeah, I mean, that was the goal after 2019, and then I got hurt, and I had to make a decision between pursuing that route or going MMA, and obviously I went MMA, but the goal for me was the same, become the best in the world. It was just, would that be in wrestling or MMA, and fighting is what gets me going right now.
Do you think more high-level wrestlers are going to make a career in MMA after you and Bo?
For sure. I think we already seen it, like Bo's first wave, and then now a lot of guys are getting into it, and I think a lot of Penn State guys can see the route clearer, and we have the gym right by us, so it's going to be an easy transition. So yeah, I think wrestlers are going to be dominating these next couple of years.
Do you ever have open gym where fans can watch you train?
They can watch me compete October 22nd on UFC Fight Pass. Are there any fun ones left?
If you had to rank your personal videographers, who would be number 1?
I would say definitely Nolan, number 1.
Nice.
And then I have a couple other guys that I'm close with, and then like number 14 or 15 would be Ronan. He doesn't film for me much anymore. He just tries to get the clip of like me acting dumb.
Ask him how many supplements he takes.
How many supplements do you take?
Take a lot of supplements. This, not cycle, but this camp has been a little less, but I take a lot of supplements. I probably got a few grand worth in my closet.
When's your UFC title fight going to be? We all know you're going to do it.
Time will tell. Someone asked about my 5-year plan. Get to the UFC, win the title, have a bunch of babies, start a homestead, have them homeschooled with Bo's kids, and make millions of dollars, invest in businesses, and yeah.
What's your favorite thing about your fiance?
Oh, frick. Who asked that? My favorite thing about my fiance, she's a ride or die, and other than her just like understanding me and what I'm about, I would say her heart, without sounding soft, is my favorite thing. Just and she's temporary blonde, yes.
All right, I think that's good.
Bingo. Thanks, guys. Love y'all.